me tell y'all about this all right? For the past couple of months, I've been very quiet, but I've been going through a lot of stuff that I keep to myself. First thing first, this guy, right, is upset because I sent his girlfriend text messages of him begging me, saying he was gonna take away his life, begging me, saying he's gonna take away my life.
Offset once boasted that nothing could shake him, but the past year has proved the opposite. The man who loves flashing diamond grills and laughing off rumors is now wiping his social media presence, firing off frantic messages, and, according to Cardi B, issuing threats far scarier than a breakup. This is no ordinary celebrity split. It looks more like a slow-motion implosion where pride, power, and desperation collide. So the question hammering every timeline is simple. Is Offset really heartbroken, or is he terrified that the one woman he could always pull back has finally slammed the door on him for good? Cardi B's surprise X Spaces broadcast on a chilly March night in 2025 felt like a cultural earthquake. Her voice, raw with exhaustion, cracked as she read out messages Offset allegedly sent, pleading at first, then cursing, then spiraling into threats of taking himself out if she didn't dump NFL star Stefon Diggs. Even darker, she said he vowed to take her out too if she refused. Millions listened in stunned silence, realizing that behind the glossy paparazzi shots lay a far more disturbing story. Offset, who just days earlier had been filmed strolling through Louis Vuitton with a new girlfriend on his arm, suddenly seemed less like a carefree bachelor and more like a man unraveling in real time. Cardi said she blocked his main number, only for private lines to light up her phone. When she muted him on socials, he called her mother.
Even though I know you was gonna go to Atlanta, and I was like, I didn't want to know what you was doing out there. I told you I blocked. You was calling me all private numbers all morning. You was calling my mama, everything.
Every boundary she set became another fuse he tried to light. It was the first visible crack in a facade millions thought was made of solid gold. Rewind to January 2025. Offset was on Instagram Live dazzling fans with stacks of cash and yelling, "We haven't!" His trademark boast to prove he was unbothered. Yet only hours later, Cardi says she was flooded with voice notes so vicious they left her shaking. Friends who overheard snippets said the words weren't merely rude, they were surgical, designed to crater her self-esteem. "Everybody's gas in you. Without me, you ain't that girl." Patterns quickly emerged. Whenever Cardi boarded a flight for a brand shoot, the voicemail count spiked. When she posted a milestone, another platinum single, another award, Offset popped up with FaceTime calls, sometimes while wrapped around another woman. Cardi started to feel like she was being haunted by a ghost who refused to rest. Even after she served divorce papers in mid-2024, his voice kept echoing through private numbers, breathing down every victory. The emotional toll was massive, and nobody outside the inner circle knew how bad it was. Offset's rumored new flame, model Melanie Jada, first lit up gossip blogs after a 7-figure shopping spree in Dubai. Cardi, far from jealous, grabbed screenshots of Offset's most disturbing texts and forwarded them to Melanie. The move wasn't petty, she insisted. It was a warning. If he can threaten me, the mother of his kids, what makes any woman safe? Offset's reaction, according to Cardi, was instant rage. Within hours, he allegedly blasted revenge clips of their past intimacy straight to Stefon Diggs in a jealous haze. That single act shifted public perception overnight. No longer was this a messy triangle. It was a potential felony: harassment, intimidation, revenge content distribution. In hip-hop culture, publicly accusing someone of such a violation can atomize a career. Cardi had lit the fuse, and thousands watched to see if Offset would implode or finally apologize. He chose silence. Then rage. Psychologists call it coercive control, a maze of charm, guilt, threats, and humiliation that keeps a partner trapped in spirals of self-doubt. Cardi mapped the pattern in chilling detail. Every blow-up began with a flood of sentimental apologies, late-night I miss you essays, and throwback photos meant to soften her resolve. When that tactic failed, Offset shifted gears, accusing her newfound success of ruining their bond and insisting she had changed. When ignored, he pivoted to spectacle, streaming bottle service nights and luxury shopping sprees to show the world he was thriving. But the swagger never lasted. Once the cameras went dark, he delivered punishment in the form of 4 a.m. voice notes packed with insults designed to carve away her confidence. Fans, armed with timestamps and screenshots, replayed the timeline and saw it line up perfectly. Skipped holidays with the kids, rumors of his mother pressing Cardi for cash, even the mysterious jewelry she hinted had vanished from her own home. Every incident looked less like random chaos and more like calculated moves in a long game of control. Late 2024, Cardi was 7 months pregnant and in rehearsal for a European mini-tour. She told fans she couldn't sleep without triple-checking every lock. "I'd jump when my phone pinged," she said. "My baby deserved a calm mom, but I was living inside a thriller." As her anxiety spiked, her appetite vanished. She lost weight, canceled rehearsals, and eventually postponed half the tour. Doctors warned the stress could stunt her baby's growth. During those same weeks, a leaked backstage clip showed Offset stumbling, drink in hand, ranting that Cardi's football boy toy was using her for clout. Hours later, his Instagram was gone. Then his ex account vaporized. Friends claimed he was taking a mental health break, but insiders said labels and sponsors had issued quiet ultimatums: clean it up or lose the bags. Offset disappeared, leaving a wake of worried fans and fuming industry execs. Cardi, meanwhile, stopped feeling scared and started feeling furious. In April 2025, documents from Fulton County Court leaked online. Offset's attorneys had filed for child support. Twitter exploded. Comments ranged from disbelief to scathing humor. Cardi has publicly footed tuition, security, and full-time childcare for years. Offset's net worth may hover near $30 million, but Cardi, whose Super Bowl sponsorship alone reportedly paid 8 figures, doesn't exactly need a copay from her ex. Cardi's lawyers responded fast, arguing that Offset's recent absence and volatility made primary residency essential for the kids. Court agreed, awarding joint legal custody but naming Cardi's home the primary address. Across social media, memes popped up of Offset holding a "Broke Boys Club" sign. The humiliation was so severe that even die-hard Migos fans admitted the optics were ugly. Absentee holidays plus a demand for monthly checks equaled a PR nightmare. Offset's camp said nothing, letting the silence speak volumes. On June 2, 2025, Cardi fired up a live stream that became a masterclass in controlled fury. Wearing a simple hoodie, no glam, she recounted Offset missing their daughter's kindergarten recital because he was busy playing poker on a yacht. She claimed he'd seen their youngest baby 5 times since birth, and once was only because she called to get his signature for a new school. "I used to shield him," she said, her voice steady. "I didn't want my kids to Google their daddy and see a mess. But I'm done covering up. Fatherhood isn't captions, it's car seats. It's midnight fevers and math homework." Quote ricocheted across entertainment pages. Fans called it the most powerful thing she'd ever said. And maybe the saddest. They argued that Offset had transformed from chart-topping star to cautionary tale practically overnight. Today, Reddit threads dissect Offset's every move like a crime scene. The timing of his deactivations, the sudden club appearances, the cryptic tweets about "watching my son's braids." Meanwhile, Cardi and Stefon Diggs keep popping up in paparazzi reels, laughing on a yacht in St. Bart's or strolling hand-in-hand at a low-key gallery opening in Miami. Critics accuse them of strategic PR, but mental health advocates counter that Cardi finally looks relaxed. And if her joy happens to undermine Offset's narrative? Well, nobody forces a grown man to threaten live stream meltdowns. Defenders insist heartbreak makes people act wild, that Offset's pain is genuine. Skeptics reply that genuine pain doesn't usually involve revenge clips or child support plays. The argument flares daily: romance versus control, regret versus manipulation. What everyone agrees on is the spectacle itself. Rarely has the thin line between love and possession been televised this vividly in 4K with timestamps and receipts. Offset's orbit isn't just family drama, it's big business. Since the scandal erupted, 2 streetwear brands quietly paused capsule deals. A luxury vodka label froze a 7-figure ad campaign pending reputation review. Meanwhile, streaming stats tell a darker story. Offset's solo tracks dipped 18% on major playlists the same week Cardi's livestream went viral. Quavo, still mourning Takeoff and trying to keep Migos' legacy intact, has reportedly pleaded with Offset to fix it before it's too late. But Offset's camp is split. Some advisors want rehab and a tearful sit-down interview. Others push for a fiery diss track aimed at Cardi and Diggs, banking on controversy to drive numbers. Executives whisper that Cardi's brand, by contrast, has never been hotter. She just inked a beauty line extension rumored to surpass Fenty in first-day pre-orders. Sponsors see authenticity, resilience, and, crucially, a narrative with defined villains and heroes. They love a comeback arc, and Cardi is writing hers in real time. Beyond the headlines, Offset's unraveling has sparked conversations about mental health, masculinity, and public accountability. Commentators point out that weaponizing threats of self-harm, whether genuine or manipulative, puts enormous emotional labor on partners. Cardi said it best in her broadcast, "I'm not trained to be your crisis line." Therapists on TikTok stitched her words, stressing the difference between supporting a loved one and being coerced by them. At the same time, mental health advocates caution against writing Offset off entirely. If his threats were genuine cries for help, they say he needs therapy, not Twitter court. But contrition matters. You can't heal what you keep denying. As one viral tweet put it, men can struggle and still be accountable. Pain isn't a free pass for abuse. Cardi B's decision to expose every ugly receipt turned a private nightmare into a public reckoning. She flipped the script on the centuries-old trope of the loyal woman who sticks by her man no matter what, and in doing so, she forced a global audience to study the messy mechanics of power, ego, and coercion. Offset now faces a crossroads: seek help and rebuild, or keep spiraling until even his loyalists drift away. So here's the final question. Is Offset spiraling because he's heartbroken, or because the power he once wielded over Cardi B is gone for good? Drop your thoughts below, smash that subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss the next jaw-dropping chapter. Because if this saga has taught us anything, it's that the next plot twist can drop without warning, and when it does, you'll want a front row seat.